Good evening, ghouls. We got a cold open for you today to let you know that this is going to be the first of a two-parter, the first time we've ever done anything like this. So that's very exciting, and it couldn't have been a better movie to do it, or a TV show to do it with The Haunting of Hill House, which is one of my personal favorites, and I'm excited for you guys to hear our conversation about that. So I'm going to release them both at the same time, just so that, you're not waiting. But go ahead and give a listen to both of them. I think the conversation was equal parts hilarious and heartfelt. So we love you, ghouls, and we hope you enjoy.
Captain, I'm surprised.
Well, it may be a surprise to you, but it's been on my mind for weeks. It's just my way of telling you that I love you, that's all.
Don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell, right?
Yeah, don't you guys miss it when that was
the legal policy in our country?
Yeah, I missed Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It was fun for me.
For me personally.
I was really alive then also.
Remember No Child Left Behind?
No, because
I
children
think
got
they
left
left a
behind.
few.
My ass got left behind.
The fact that Obama visited your middle school is still like one of my favorite facts.
Inner City Tour.
Inner city tour, literally though.
And the Pope visited Robert on his deathbed.
What?
Robert has been personally
Have you not heard of
blessed
this?
by the Pope.
This so this is one of my two truths and a lie. That I was visited by the Pope in Paraguay.
Pope Francis.
Yeah, Pope Francis.
When whose deathbed? Your deathbed?
So
He
I was
made it.
in Paraguay when the Pope came for the first time, and he went and visited like all the Catholic hospitals in
Okay.
Paraguay.
Yeah.
I happened to be in the hospital at the time, and he did like a thing where he did like drive-by blessings to everyone in rooms. Like
Holy
literally just went
shit.
room to room, like crossed himself and like said a brief prayer, like literally just rapid fire down the hall.
Dude, you're in the
And
clear
I was
then.
there. That's
That's why
honestly
you
one of my. I don't like. I'm not a person that like lives with a lot of regrets. Like I kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and like it's a character flaw. Like I think I should regret more things because
Whatever.
because it's like I'm like it's in the past, whatever.
Yeah.
But I regret so deeply that I didn't grab Pope merch when I was there because they were selling crazy Pope
Did
merch.
they have the Pope on a string?
No, but they had these T-shirts
So-
where he was like kind of like had his arms out,
beneficent,
yeah, exactly,
That's
hands, arms out,
hype.
palms up, but like the arms, it was so goofy. I wish I had a picture of the arms like extended onto like the sleeve. So like when you actually wore the shirt, his arms were like kind of like like he was shrugging instead of like offering. So it looked like the Pope was just like, what can you say?
Fucking Pope goes so hard.
It was so funny.
Wait, so it's like one of those shirts where like you're the Pope, like you're next.
No,
But he's
it was just
lower
poorly
on the
made is the
chest.
thing, like, because it was like it's not like a mass produced thing. It was like a person that did it,
Mm-hmm.
and they obviously like tried to like design something, and then like when they printed it off, it didn't work, and they're like, well, fuck it, I already printed it off.
That
Like his
fucking
head was up
rules.
here, and the arms like were like extending out the sleeves, out to the
His head was,
sleeves.
like on
Yes.
your chest.
You know what I mean? And when the sleeves laid flat, it kind of you could kind of see what they were going for. But then if you wore it, the sleeves would get pulled up, so it was like kind of like him like. Yeah, it was great. Good evening, ghouls.
Good evening.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
How?
Cool.
I'm Al, but I'm not going to tell you which one.
Yeah. I'm also
You have to decide that
Al.
for yourself.
One of us only tells the truth and one of us only tells lies. You'll never discover which one it is.
I have 3 riddles for you.
3 riddles.
One of us is a highly sought after dinner guest, and the other has been called Not As Cool Robert.
Well, that's cool,
That's
Robert.
not true.
You're right.
The
It's not
opposite
true.
of that is
Yeah,
true.
I was gonna say what it actually was is I was called Cool Alec.
Oh, fuck.
Cooler, Alec.
Cooler Alec.
This evening has done a lot for my confidence.
Yeah, we removed the ick.
We removed
that was
the ick
cool.
from Alec and got Al, and we're left with Ick over there.
No.
We've got Al, and then we got Ick.
We're killing him.
Nick is going to self-clean.
Did you say self-glean?
Yeah.
Are you listening to that book right now?
No.
No.
I'm just...
Never mind.
the code changed so fast.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Al, and I recently discovered that I was media illiterate, and I'm gonna keep it that way, honestly.
And I'm fine with
It's
that.
a podcast about the movies I don't watch.
I like it.
It's kind of true.
But I continue to not watch them.
That's the real podcast. That's how you make big money, is you talk about things that you don't know anything about. And so that's what we're going to start doing. We're just not going to watch the movies and then develop opinions about them.
No, because then people will click, get mad at you.
Yeah,
You
exactly. They'll share it around. They're like, look at these dumbasses. They don't know anything, which is true. But, yeah.
Today's episode is a little bit different because today we watched something that we've all seen except for Al. So now we're just like all eyes on Al. What did you think?
Oh, man.
So,
We watched The Haunting of Hill House.
Yay! Robert loves Hill House.
I do have a special place for Hill House in my heart.
And lesbians in Hill House.
Lesbians in Hell House.
He wrote a whole entire thesis about it.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Well, who's your undergrad?
It was my undergrad thesis, so it wasn't super good. It was really, here's the thing. I love
Whoever
researching.
wrote their undergrad thesis in like more than 3 hours. Not me.
Damn.
Alex just raises his hand over there.
He taught. Yeah, you prepared. Nerd.
Alex was a really cool one too, and it's actually kind of funny that you ended up working at a law firm representing employees because like it was about labor rights and stuff.
Let's go.
So it's kind of a. You're using your degree, pal. Good for you.
Thanks, Robert. I'm really appreciating the positive reinforcement over there. Fucking need it.
You're a cool guy. We're a fan of yours.
But I wrote my thesis about. I compared the novel The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson to the Netflix adaptation by
Quentin Tarantino.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Denis
Hill House by
Villeneuve?
Wes Anderson goes crazy.
that'd be kind of
We
cool.
need to
Actually,
we need to
Mike Flanagan.
we need to get the rights to a single book and convince like 5 different directors to all make a movie at the same time about that book just to see.
Who did it better?
I mean,
Who's
I
the
technically
best
have
director?
the rights to a book right now,
Oh,
so
shoots.
Oh, shit.
we can't we
want-
can't option it, but I do
want-
have the rights to Out to Get You by Josh Allen.
Don't tell him.
I want a Hill House by Michael Bay. I want one by Quentin Tarantino. I want one by Wes Anderson. Fucking
David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah, that would
and
be a lot of
Michael
fun.
Bay.
And
Michael
Al.
And me.
Michael Bay blows the house up in the end. He has the right ending, the right take on the ending.
Yeah, I do want that house to die, but
Yeah. Let's talk about it first.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Who wants to do the summary?
I can.
Yeah, I think Robert could probably.
I've seen this show so many
times.
times. So it's 10 episodes. The first 5 episodes, 4 episodes?
5.
5. There's 5 children. The first 5 episodes all follow siblings in order of their birth, and kind of reveal the events that happened at one of their houses that they lived in when they were growing up, as their parents were flipping houses. The story kind of revolves around the death of the youngest daughter, Nell, who committed suicide in the house
as an adult.
And as we find out later in the show, the same house where their mom committed suicide
When they were kids.
And
Also,
so
ghosts.
yes, and so each of the kids are kind of haunted by different ghosts, and each of them are kind of implied to have different kinds of like, not all of them have like overt powers, but there's like it's very vague,
Spooky
magical, spooky, like, telekinesis and like preternatural smells.
The twins
and shit.
can like tell when the other's in trouble.
Yeah,
and
that
That's
very
real shit,
very
though, so I
light.
don't
It's Amityville.
Very light. There is a lot of connection to Amityville, but I don't think Becca and Alec have seen that.
No, it's just the same ghost type shit.
Yeah, very
ending.
very light on like the haunting stuff in general. Like, there's not a lot of explanation beyond the fact that they are living in a house that is somehow not alive in the sense that like Monster House alive, but so
does
it
have-
does.
I think it is just Monster House.
Yeah,
Alive
it's just Monster
But it
House.
just fucked with
Our
you.
tour Monster House.
with ghosts instead of like the rug.
Yeah. And so the story follows these siblings as they are kind of grieving the death of their sister and vicariously the death of their mom, and kind of the way that these people are grieving all culminates to Nell's twin brother Luke going to the house with the intent to destroy it, and they all end up back at the house and have to relive and kind of process this trauma that the family has been suppressing for years. And eventually the dad, the mom, and the daughter kind of all play their parts to the dead daughter Nell all play their part to save the rest of the siblings and kind of bring them back together as a family. And we could talk about details about each sibling as we go along, but that's kind of the gist of it, is the family learning to fall into each other rather than away from each other as they're grieving.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I heard it though.
Yeah.
It hurted.
This show
hurts.
This show hurts. Like owie, ouch, ow, ow.
Yeah. It's a brutal one. Like, I feel like one of the lines that is kind of the whole thing in one line is a ghost is a wish. Right? The ghosts that they're haunted by, like, can either represent what they're most afraid of or what they most want, and oftentimes those are the same things. I think for various characters, and whether that's like companionship or like waking up to a reality, it's ouch. Oof.
Yeah. It's pretty much as far as you can get from Mean Girls, which is what we talked about with Al last time, Like, I feel like there's not a lot of ha-has in this one,
We are.
but I don't know, yeah. I like I said, I have a really special place for this movie, or this show, in my heart, because of how much I've seen it and how much, like, I compared. And it was really one of those, like, inspirational movies for me where, like, it kind of combined a lot, because I grew up doing theater, so I really like theatrical, like, that has a very special place in my heart when it comes to how I watch movies. And this was one of the first movies or shows, whatever, that showed, like, transferable skills, I guess, with, like, the monologues, and, like, the set is very important in the storytelling, you know what I mean? And so
some of the episodes are shot like a play.
yeah, exactly. Especially episode 6, right? Which is the one that only has
storms.
2 or 3 cuts in the entire episode.
I've counted.
5, okay. 5 cuts in the entire 45-minute, 50-minute episode. And it's just, it's not only is the story, like, really great and something that, like, I wasn't expecting when I saw it. I literally, the first time I saw it, I came in on episode 3, and everyone was like, sit down, and I was like, oh, okay, like, and then we just watched the rest of it, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, like I was sitting there just crying, and I'm like, what happened? Like, how did I get here?
They do that?
Like, I just got off work or got out of class or something, and then now I'm, like, having this crisis. Like, what the fuck is happening here? Yeah.
I also came. Who was watching it?
I think you came in on episode 3 too, didn't you?
I think so.
On Luke, right?
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was Luke. I
So
remember
four.
he was like standing outside after he's like fled the coop at the rehab center, and the tall ghost is like is just kind of like posed up across the street, and I remember being like, fuck. Like, I didn't know anything about the show or anything, but like I just like saw him and noticed it and was just like, oh, like, that's scary. Like, I don't know.
When it almost gets him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Don't like it.
I have a ha-ha pitch, if this is going to be a light ha-ha episode. So
Sure.
they
Sure, whatever. Let
when
it ride.
new people go into the house, they get haunted by people who have died there before.
Mm-hmm.
I could live there and get haunted by the hot ass MILF mom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She
Absolutely.
made a bunch of people die. You do
Yeah.
not want her
I mean-
like that.
I mean, I'm already dead. What more could she do to me?
The house is so just. The house is the perfect villain because it draws you in makes you mad and makes you so mad that it brings you back, and then it kills you, and then everyone in your life is mad and wants to kill it, so it brings them as well, and then it kills them, and then their loved ones, it just doesn't ever end. And what Hugh, the dad, was trying to do was seal it off to the world so no one else could go in, to starve it. But it's impossible, because the Dudleys, they lose Abigail, they lose their baby, and so you've got okay, well, we have to keep it open for the Dudleys because they want to die with their family. But then waiting for them to die, who else is going to come in? Mm-hmm. And this endless cycle of just drip feeding this house one body every few years or so, but it never dies because its defenses are too good, and someone loves another person that died there and can't burn it down because it's a sacred place for them. So really what I'm saying is burn your sacred places.
Kill them.
Burn it to the ground.
Attach yourself to nothing, because if you care
You
about
like
something,
water.
then guess what? You drown.
It's what's his name? Jahir or Zahir from the season 3 of Korra. Lose all earthly attachments and just fucking fly.
No, but Aang can do that, so doesn't matter.
We're not. This isn't the Avatar episode. Yeah. We're not going to rant about a show we haven't watched.
I have never seen that show.
Wait, the original?
Yeah. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Al, and I recently learned that I'm media illiterate. What Becca just said is so good, because I think the world, the house is a monster is one thing, but also the house's grief itself is another, and the way that you can become lost in your own grief to where people have to grieve you, obviously not necessarily not necessarily you get munched up and die, but it's a form of death, right? And you can't avoid but drag other people with you. And I think the Dudleys are a good, they're kind of the antithesis, right? Because they're actually we are taking our grief for what it is and are going to live as we can with it, and abide by its rules of how to keep yourself sane and safe and operating functionally, even though it wants to eat you.
I find it really interesting how the house leveraged the mom's fear of bad things happening to her children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the mom was never a bad person. The mom was a great person, but it did judo on, and made her, it made her express what is normally a good impulse or a good urge, and then in a wrong context made it a bad one, which is where you want to shield your children from bad things, because that's typically what parents do. But in the wrong context, or taken out too far, it turns into you giving rat poison to your children,
and
in a tea party.
Neighbor's child.
Just a stray one.
Just a stray one. Just one that happened to be
catching
there.
strays out there.
Fucking strays.
Bro, Abigail, justice for Abigail. I want to talk about her later.
Really fucked her shit up. But I don't know. We've got some. There are people that I'm close to that are also having a not great time right now, and I almost want to give them rat poison and make them stop feeling bad things.
Yeah, this is a weird day for the ghoul-based community. And something that Becca and I were saying earlier is that it sucks when you think that you're talking to someone that you love and you care about the whole time, and then it turns out you were only talking to yourself, right? The mom appearing to the dad, he thought that he was getting guidance and support or whatever, but it was always just him. And the real person or entity or whatever she was, or whoever that person is fucked up in ways that you can't imagine. And that's a part of them, and so learning to accept that and be present for that, or the alternative is to live with just yourself, But I don't like thinking about that because it makes me sad.
No. But wait, I'm gonna twist it a little bit. I don't know if I've talked about this before on the pod, but and if I have, you can just like fast forward to like 5 minutes from now. 10 minutes from now. My mom lost her second child, who was before me. I'm a rainbow baby. And we grew up Mormon, right? So we have this belief that every soul that is on earth and has a body today existed premortally, the premortal life. And we chose to come down here and get a body and live out our life. And even the people who die as babies, you know, they had a spirit and just were here for a shorter time, you know? So my whole life, I was taught and believed fully that I have an elder sister and that her spirit is out there watching me and guiding me. And she was really like my inspiration for genuinely like everything in my life. I would find coincidences that I felt were her. I had dreams when I was a child about a girl that I'd never seen but looked like me. And I was like, oh, that's her, that's Emily. I'd meet people that would say really encouraging things to me, and just like strangers, like out of nowhere. And then I'd ask them, what's your name? And they'd say, I'm Emily. And I really looked to her as like, I kind of like idolized her in a way, and kind of looked to her as inspiration for who I wanted to become. And since, you know, more Mormon lore, if you die before the age of accountability, which someone decided was the age of 8, Joseph Smith, because you're accountable.
Sorry, that's a lot.
Yeah.
8 years old, and you are now accountable for sin.
Because you know
Okay.
everything, yeah. So
you know
that
everything.
Didn't fuck me up at all, like whatsoever. It's totally normal.
No, we're cool
in my brain, yeah. So because she died before the age of 8, she was perfect. So she went straight to the highest kingdom of heaven, right? And that's the goal of every Mormon, is to get to the highest kingdom of heaven. And so that was my goal, was I'm gonna be the best person that I can be so that I can live with her again. And I took that to be not just like spiritually or like in the church, but like also as like a person, like, because in my brain Emily was very nice, and so I wanted to be nice to everyone. And in my brain Emily was very skilled at anything she tried, and so I wanted to be skilled at things to be impressive to her. And over the past, you know, like several years, as I've been kind of going through this inventory of like, what do I actually believe, I've kind of hit that unavoidable point where I come to Emily, and who is she? What is she? Is she energy? Do I believe in souls? What do I believe in? And at some point, you know, that thought has crossed my mind. Am I her? Like, if there are souls, was I just destined to be the second child? And her energy, whatever, is actually just me. And the person I've been looking up to my entire life is myself. You know, the person that I have been, like, really inspired by, the person who I've dedicated things to, the person that I really look up to is just me, you know? And I'm pulling myself through this life. And, you know, I feel like that's kind of just like a positive twist on a couple of things in the show. Like with Hugh, and how he kept his wife with him. And while she was like a figment of his imagination, he still was able to process his grief. And maybe he didn't let go of her fully, but at least he was you know, like he was helping himself. Like he could get through the day. And with Nellie, it's kind of the very opposite, where she sees the bent neck lady and it's her fear, and then ends up being what killed her, and it's herself. So I feel like there's two ways you can go with that, like with getting in your head so bad that it destroys you, or you can get in your head so bad that it inspires you to become everything that you could be.
That was really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, like, a ghost is a wish.
Ghost
right?
is a wish.
And so
Exactly.
Emily exists as far as you want her to exist, and she also is the wish that you be a generous and kind person, right? And we become what we desire, and we can often desire things that hurt us and kill us and turn us into things that we don't want to be. And maybe we're just in more control of that than we give ourselves credit for.
It's natural.
Well, now we're back from all those ghouls who skipped ahead 5 minutes. 10 minutes.
Those fucked up ghouls.
Go back.
Ghouls are not wishes.
Ghouls are the evil schemes of the
Ghouls
wishes.
are stupid.
Wait, not you though.
Not you though, guys.
Wait. With grief and how your grief can be the house itself, the haunted house. Our friend B did write a poem about that, and not necessarily about grief, but about like depression and dark places within your mind. They wrote about like, well, when I go missing, and it was so like just the snap revelations. That's what I really love about poetry and about literature really in general. I feel like mostly it works the best in poetry, where there's a twist at the end where everything had a double meaning, you know? With like this whole time you thought that this was a poem about a missing person or a show about a haunted house, but really it's about a person who is missing in their own mind, you know, and who has who's gone missing, but everyone knows where they are, you know, or has like where they are physically, or a haunted house that is actually just a monster eating itself. And yeah, I don't know, it's really interesting that we had that poem from B yesterday, and now we're talking about this today. Shout out B.
Join our poetry club.
Poetry club is fun.
Poetry
I
club
love
is
poetry
fun.
club.
Me too.
It is one of the things that like brought this podcast to life, you know? Because like we wanted to do the podcast for a long time, and you know, this is not the poetry club episode, but we wanted to do it for so long, and then Alex started the poetry club and named it the Undead Poet Society, and like that, giving it a name gave me like it lit a fire under me. I was like, okay, we have a name for something now, and now that it has a name, like I feel like it can exist, you know. And so I really love the poetry club, and like
You named it into existence.
he named it into
You
existence.
named it into existence.
Because Alec is nice and smart and clever, even.
I'm refilling.
Some of them.
He's not immune to
I'm
propaganda.
not immune to propaganda. Easily manipulated the targeted praise.
Yay!
And
The other thing-
dick pics in the email.
Yeah,
For
please.
the love of God.
And the other thing too is like people's poems are getting better. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like I'll read a poem, like so, because sometimes I won't read like every poem every day, and I'll go like a week or so without reading, and then I'll read someone's poem that they did like a week later. I'm like, wow, like even just a week of writing poems, like they're just getting better, and it's like cool to see people like improving at a skill. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's cool. I love Poetry Club. You guys should join us.
Poetry Club epic.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram. We post daily prompts.
Yeah, message us on Instagram if you want to be involved.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about like the technical aspects of this because I think that it's also a very technically well done show. We talked about like the theatricality of it and like the monologues. Oh my god, I love me a good monologue, and I know that some people don't.
Michael
So does
Flanagan
Mike
loves him a
Flanagan.
good monologue.
Yes, Mike Flanagan, he revels in a good monologue, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. And I know, like, it's not for everybody. Like, that's one of the big criticisms that I see that don't like his stuff is, like, people, like, just sit there and talk forever. You know what I mean? Especially Midnight Mass, they fucking pop off in Midnight Mass with the monologues.
So good.
But they're so good. They're just so well written, and, like, when you get a good actor who knows what they're doing...
Their pussy
they
off, you know?
pop off like they do. Yeah, it's so good. And like, I don't know, I think it's really something special, and it's something that like I think Mike Flanagan has a good eye for. He finds those people that are good at it because he reuses people in like all of his stuff, you know what I mean? Like he always has he's got a group,
a short list.
Yeah, he's got
some
a
cats
group
on speed dial.
And I mean, like one
of them is his spouse.
Yeah,
so.
Kate Siegel or Seagal is his wife. Theo.
Yeah.
Which, if you've seen Mike Flanagan, no disrespect, brother, I don't know how you pulled.
Do not fumble that
I
bag.
don't know.
swear to God.
I don't know how you pulled, and if you fumbled that bag,
Dude, I'm barking. You do not want any of this.
There's not a short list of people that will be there to pick up that bag.
I feel like there are movies that are almost an excuse for certain groups of people to do the thing they do really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like action movies that just just go utterly ham on like a certain action sequence or something, and I feel like this one is very dramatic in that, like, because monologue is a craft. It's a very specific craft. It's an extremely specific skill, and a lot of these people have it. And Mike lets them. It's I don't know. It's just fun it's fun to see talented people let loose, you know, and just like really get into it and feel themselves, you know?
And I can totally see why someone wouldn't like it.
But for that reason, it's a gamble, right?
Exactly.
Like if you're going to double down on something really specific, like if you're going to get specific, then you're no longer general, and that is inherently a gamble because you're going to compound interest on people that like the thing that you want to do, and you're going to lose the interest of the people that don't want you to do the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
So I can see for some people why they wouldn't like I'm sure fucking what's his face, is it Jake or Logan who like went to Oppenheimer and it was like it's just people talking.
Yeah.
That's so fucking true.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wouldn't like it, but I also don't give a shit about their opinion, so it's like,
And like, not to say that like smart and like cultured people can't have that opinion also.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know.
No,
if you don't have my opinion, you're fucking smooth brain.
I guess I'm like Einstein standing up in the middle of class. I sort of didn't like the monologues when they were happening, and the reason. Thank you for laughing.
literal smooth brain.
Thank you. Please clap.
Hold the applause.
So, unpopular opinion. My thing with them was that they kind of they broke my immersion a little tiny itty bitty bit when they would happen, because I was like, I don't really think in monologue, I guess, and I feel like for a movie that's pretty like internal for a lot of it, then the monologues would creep up, and I'm like, whoa, like it kind of caught me by surprise. And then I also really felt like the guy writing a script feeling from it. But I think that when I frame it as more of a theatrical presentation, I like it a lot more. Plus, I mean, I liked the content of the monologues a lot, obviously, and I think that they shape the series really effectively. But in the moment, sometimes I was like, oh, we're monologuing.
I think
I do have a bomb.
Oh.
I think our friend also who watched it with us, I think she also felt similarly.
Kelbo?
Yeah, I didn't know if
Noted lover Kelbo, who I love with my heart.
I didn't know if we wanted to like if she would want us to like name drop her. Not that like anyone listens to this.
She does though, so she'd be pissed.
Kelbo.
Kelsey and Alyssa live at.
Yeah.
Their IP address is.
Can I do a real quick thing?
Yeah.
A fun question that I like to ask people.
I wanted to piggyback off of what
internal
Al
monologue.
said.
Do you have one?
Everyone
Yes.
loves me.
I know.
Let's talk about it.
Oh,
Do you have an internal monologue? Do you think about your thoughts?
I'm gonna
Do you
be...
narrate your thoughts?
Okay, here's my extreme hater opinion.
Oh?
Are you ready? This is gonna be way worse
I'm
than
so
anything I've
excited
ever said.
To be the
People
Einstein.
who are like, do you think in thoughts or do you think in visuals or like not at all, are brain dead to me. Because, like... No, but you're not, no, it's not like that. I said extreme
The ick
hater.
is being
No,
removed tonight.
No, because wait, did you know the second part of his question?
No, I didn't. Oh no, what was the second part?
This is like Colin's stupid
Wait,
cumberry egg.
Am I horrible? I'm sorry, come back. Oh no.
Oh, you didn't know.
Brillo patted off of my own podcast.
He's illiterate in his own head. He
I'm
can't
being
speak.
replaced. This is literal great replacement theory.
No, it's not. What are you talking about? What? Okay, what's the second part? I'm sorry, and then I'll reveal my hater-ass opinion again.
No, you have to finish it. You literally have to finish it.
So this is my last time on the pod. No, because I think that, like, no one is sitting there in their own head being like, today I will wake up and eat one bowl of cereal. Like, that's not how people actually think. And if you think that you do, no, you don't. You don't think word for word exactly what you're thinking at all moments, because otherwise you would be, like, speaking coherently at every single second of the day, right? Like, some things are emotional. Sometimes you see the color pink and your brain is, like, pink. Like, that's not a, like... a literate thought, right? It's not constructed of words. Versus like people who are like, I never think with words. It's like, yes you do, otherwise you'd be like sitting there for 10 minutes before you gave any sentences, right? Like our brains process things in multiple ways, and I don't believe that people are just sitting there like typewritering in the back of their eyes, or like just like seeing a kaleidoscope at all moments and then suddenly snapping into like mental literacy. I don't know. That's what I think. And I think that it's like a little bit like like, are you a left brain or a right brain person? Like, shut up.
I only
Shub
have one side
dub.
of the
Yeah.
brain.
That's my take.
That's from Al, who has a degree in English and tech bro. So, left and right brain.
In some ways, that makes me the least qualified to ever speak on anything.
Do those add or do those cancel each other out?
Oh, they cancel each other out real easy. Okay, I'm sorry that I didn't mean that you were brain dead. What's the second part of your thing?
There is no second part. I don't know what Becca's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
No, what
he's the
is
second
it?
part.
I'm sincere. I asked the question I thought was interesting. I don't know what second part you're referring to.
Oh,
Becca.
no, that you don't have thoughts. That
Oh,
you
yeah.
just...
I personally don't believe I have an internal monologue.
Yeah, but sometimes you think words.
I'm capable of thinking words, but
Yeah.
that's not what I do.
Yeah, I think that there's probably a resting state for most brains. But you certainly think words.
I think you guys are being generous in saying that Alec has a brain.
Damn. He's
No.
I've literally been
Rest
told
up
in the
there.
very near past.
We're dumping that cup of praise out now.
Alec, I didn't mean it!
Hollow and empty. Hi, how are you?
So sorry.
This podcast does not have a video component.
I'm not doing this for the podcast. I'm so sorry.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll reciprocate.
You don't have to.
A crumbling of a friendship.
Oh no.
On the pod live, you gotta hear first.
Sorry,
Rat
it's not.
poison,
It's
anyone?
not brain.
Rat
Guess what?
It's
Alec
not
can't
brain
think
dead.
in thoughts, so he doesn't know that this even happened.
It's not brain dead. I just think it's like, I think that the premise is wrong. You're not brain
You're
dead.
so valid for that.
That's the most choked out thing I've ever heard said out loud. Like, gritted teeth. You're so valid.
You're so valid.